There is marketing strategy, and it's not this black box that's mysterious or something that requires millions upon millions of dollars in a big publishing team. It's like, no, it's strategy and execution. It's marketing your game.
Today I'm joined by a former EA and Warner Brothers marketer who's now helping indie and AA studios market smarter without blowing their budget.
You need to be allocating more like 30 to 50% of your budget to marketing because you need to cut through all the noise that's out there. There's too much competition in today's market.
We talk about why most devs treat marketing like a checkbox and how a $1,000 paid ad test delivered a 5.3x return and how you can do the same.
UA agencies would see that data and tell clients, just go all in. If you're getting those types of returns, no brainer, spend. Wrong.
From someone who's taken AAA marketing lessons and made them work for small indie studios, this episode's guest and founder of Skilltree Marketing, Jon Hanson. Jon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. The reason we're here is I saw your post on LinkedIn and I was like, that is interesting. And then I saw it again and again. And I was like, oh, other people find this interesting. And I was like, I need to talk to this person. And now here we are.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah. As a lot has happened in the last week. So I'll bring people back to speed. So Jon just founded Skilltree Marketing, so boutique growth and consultancy for indie and AA studios. And he's have 12 years in AAA publishing at EA and Warner Brothers games. And now he's, in his words, left the corporate grind to help smaller teams. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. And what I want to first start with is, why did you start posted on LinkedIn and kind of why did you leave? Like, what's happened?
I started to look around to see what I was going to do after WB. Job market not that great. And I live in the country out here in Florida, so I needed to find a remote role. Interviewed at a place, went through a month and a half and didn't get it of interviews and just really didn't feel energized by the thought of just going to another place. So I really thought and spent some time to reflect and realized that there was a gap in the market of, oh, there's a bunch of indie games are doing well, but there's not great marketing support out there. So I said, well, there's got to be a better way moment. So I started researching of, okay, like what's out there, what's going on. And I decided I was going to try this initially, like as a small consultancy, had to build a B2B strategy because I work at WB. WB doesn't want me doing side work. So I had to be kind of stealth mode about it and did research. Never done B2B marketing before, and found that I could do thought leadership, right? Through LinkedIn, Reddit, Discord. So I started posting and engaging on LinkedIn, Reddit, Discord. And it's where I got my first 3 clients, right? So I started getting some work, and my posts on LinkedIn, I was testing, iterating, as a good marketer would do. Some posts would be, okay. Some posts would die. And one day I was with my wife. She mentioned Expedition 33 that came out. She said, oh, well, you could have helped them. They didn't have any marketing. Of course, I laughed. I'm like, of course they had marketing, right? They sold 1 million copies in 24 hours. Like, of course they had marketing, right? But it made me think, I'm like, she's not alone, right? Like she's a big gamer. She follows the industry. And, I'm sure that there are other people that have that same feeling of, oh, well, the game was just great, right? So the game was amazing. It sold itself. It didn't need any marketing at all, right? So I did some research and I pinpointed, oh yeah, Expedition did that. They did all these things. Great. Made a post about it and it did well, right? It was actually really one of my better performing posts. But nothing incredible. But then about a week after I posted it, the algorithm started picking up and it started getting traction on like a Sunday. I just started getting a bunch of likes. And I'm like, what? I posted this. What's going on? But something clicked. I'm like, oh, algorithm says this is good content. So I took the same idea and I had this conversation with, one of the people I've been working with, who gives me the perspective of devs. And he said, man, everyone wants to be the next Balatro. They want to be the next Balatro. How do we be the next Balatro? That's what all devs care about. They want to be the next Balatro. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'm going to make the same style post about Balatro. And I did the same thing. I did the research and I said, oh yeah, Balatro they did all this stuff, right? They did paid UA. They did they did the whole song and dance, right? Full marketing funnel. And I made that post and it blew up, right? It blew up. all in, I had 200,000 organic impressions on that post.
And I was one of them. I was the reason it came on my feed, and that's why we're chatting today.
Yeah, and in that moment, I went, "Oh, I hit a gold mine." and and I'm like, "Okay, let me like here are other games that I know that people have similar, misconceptions about marketing. Like, okay, I'm gonna do Vampire Survivors. I'm gonna do Dredge. I'm gonna do Stray." And it was just like hit after hit after hit. Like people loved it. They loved it. And it showed the industry, yes, like there is marketing strategy, and it's not this black box that's mysterious. It's not this unattainable thing or something that requires millions upon millions of dollars and a big publishing team. It's like, no, it's strategy and execution. It's marketing your game.
Exactly. So you started posting, and then you've gone solo. So before we get into kind of biggest misconceptions about marketing, because I want to dig in there, what was the reason you wanted to? I guess you mentioned you were looking for something else, but like, was something pulling you there? Was something pushing you there? Like, why now?
Well, I got sober, I quit drinking, and it gave me some clarity. I had some time off to reflect. I took a short leave from work at WB, and I said, you know what? Like I've been holding myself back. It's time for something else. And I looked at other jobs and it just didn't excite me. And I thought, I think I can do something on my own. In tandem, a good friend of mine that I've been working very closely with for years at Warner Brothers, Nate, his contract was running up and they can only extend a contract so many times in the state of California. So his contract was coming up and they weren't able to renew him. And I was talking to him about the job search and trying to help him out, give him some guidance. I had some interview coaching before. And it just, he felt the same. He just, got some interviews and just wasn't getting the role and just was really deflated. And, initially I was going to do it by myself. I'm like, Nate, like, let's partner up. Let's try this together. And we did. And we realized like, oh, like this is like don't want to do it by myself. It's gonna be much better if we have a team. And then like a month later, Warner Brothers decided it would be a great idea to lay off all the creative services. So I took the very best artists that I've been working with for years, who Warner Brothers gave a severance to, and I said, "Hey, want to come work with us? We could use some creative help." And she said, "Fantastic, yes, please. I would love to work with
Amazing.
you." And so it went from just me to now like a fractional part of Warner Brothers Publishing, right? Like she made the user acquisition marketing art for Hogwarts Legacy, the number one selling game in the world, right? Like we know what good looks like. We know she knows how to make creative. She can crank it, right? She's incredibly talented. But the market's tough out there, so let's do it, right? So that's the path we've gone down to. And now it's like, oh yeah, like there's so much, oh my gosh, there's so much need out there that we're gonna have to grow. We're gonna continue growing. Like we're not gonna be huge. We're gonna stay a pretty lean team, but there's more work than we could really handle at the moment. So
Yeah,
it's exciting times.
100%. And I had the same feeling when I also coach some people who've done the same, like they've been in a career long time, but then the job openings aren't there. Then they go solo and they get like 3 or 4 fractional jobs. And there's so much, like you said, the need is there. I think it's just the logistics of helping that need in the current system leads to like your friend who was an expert, and then the fact that he got deflated after a job search just doesn't really make sense. Like it goes to a point where you just need to kind of go solo. So yeah, I'm just really excited to have witness the start and grab you, in week 2.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm excited to be here.
Alrighty. So you've broken down these kind of really high performing games. I want to ask you, from the conversation you're having, what's the biggest misconception about game marketing right now?
Uh the biggest misconception about marketing right now is that there's probably like three things that I can think of. One is that it's too expensive. They think that they need to go to publisher for this reason, that marketing and validating your game is just completely out of reach for most indies. The second thing is they'll view marketing as a checkbox. They'll say, yeah, we need to market our game. So let's do influencer marketing. Okay, check. Done. Right? And then the third is like they don't think through because of that, they don't think through what a real full funnel marketing strategy looks like. And the challenge from that is in the industry right now, especially in the indie space, who do you have to go to? There's not much. There's Chris Sikowski, how to market your game. He has free services and workshops. Okay, you can do it yourself. There are one-off consultants that will tell you what to do, but won't actually do the work. And then you have shops that specialize in like influencer marketing or PR, but they'll gladly take your money, but they neglect the other elements and strategies that go into marketing your game effectively.
So let's take those three. These are great. So the first one, it being more expensive than they expect. So what are they expecting, and what's the reality when it comes to like budgeting out for marketing?
So some of them have it wrong in the first place. I just saw a studio today that allocated more money of their 100% pie. They allocated 9% of their budget to marketing.
Why is that a problem?
9%. It's a problem because most businesses, which if you're making a game, it is a business, you need to be allocating more like 30 to 50% of your budget to marketing. Why? Because you need to cut through all the noise that's out there. There's too much competition in today's market. Just not just video games, just everything else. Too much competition. Netflix, sports, you name it, social media, TikTok, yada, 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 yada. Too much competition. Got to cut through it.
So let's say I'm a developer and I understand 30, 40% it's for marketing. And then I'm like, okay, what am I going to be spending on? Because if I role play here, like I'm my head, there's like bullet point list of like 10 different ways to market my game. And it's just, that's a lot of mental energy. Should I do all of them a little bit? Should I double down on a couple? How do I figure that out? Do I just trust an agency? Because you raised a good point. Like, if there's an agency who only do influencer marketing, naturally they're going to try potentially say, hey, you need influencers because that's what we do. When potentially there was another strategy that they could be using. So, how do I, as a developer, figure that out? Like, where should my marketing dollars go?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So the truth is, I'll ask studios, when should you start marketing your game, right? Because they don't know when to start marketing the game. When should you be thinking about marketing? And I tell them the answer is before you write a single line of code, you should be researching your market, right? You got to understand your market. What, first of all, with your business, there's a product. Is there a need for it? Right? Are there a thousand other games that you're trying to make that are coming out at the same time? What what is your audience and your personas? Like where are they? What do they say? Where do they live? Are they on Reddit? Are they on Discord? Are they on TikTok? Are they on none of those channels? Are they, cozy gamers spend a lot of time in Facebook groups, right? And then what are the type of things that resonate with them? You should be thinking through market research first and foremost because that will guide what you need to do from there. And you can then, with that information, determine how can you use your very precious marketing budget. Because as I said, 30 to 50%, sure, as part of like the whole marketing campaign. But if you're just trying to start out and build momentum and validate your game to investors, publishers, or if you're trying to self-publish, then you need to get some level of momentum, right? And you don't need a big budget. You don't need to spend a ton of money of that. You can start very small and in a very simple way.
Alrighty. How do I do that market research? Should I just be Googling this? Do you guys use any tools? Should I do it myself? Should I just get someone to help me market research?
So, in the past, what folks will do, what studios will do, is they'll hire market research firms and pay 15, $20,000, and it'll take a month, 2 months, however long, and you'll get all these charts and you'll get all this data and you'll look at it and go, okay, what? I don't know what to do. But in today's world, guess what? There are things like, okay, I'm going to say a very controversial thing. So, disclaimer, there's something called AI, okay, that's out there today. Devs and studios, when it comes to marketing, that frightens them. But the truth is, with deep research tools that are available today, with some simple prompts, you can unlock and discover exactly where your audience is. LinkedIn strategy I told you about, that B2B strategy, I've never done B2B. What did I do? First thing I did, market research, using deep research. Where's the audience? What's their pain points? What do they need? What resonates with them? What turns them off? Right? Same thing with the game, right? Where are they? What's authentic to them? What are they looking for, right? Are they hungry for a specific type of game? All that stuff is readily available. There's Perplexity, there's Gemini, there's ChatGPT that have free tiers. If you really don't have money, you do it for free, right? So there are tools available to start and to give you a pretty good starting position where you're 80, 90% of the way there. Now, for us, we take it to 100 because we know the questions to ask, right? The paintbrush is only as good as the painters. So, as experienced marketers, we know a lot of the questions to ask and a lot of the things to prompt and check with. But there's some simple prompts that, I'd even be happy to share. Like, go look in your own, right? These tools are available. Try it out. See what you find.
So I hear you. We're gonna use GPT, deep research, $20 a month. That'll give me a few of those a month, and then I get some information out there. I don't know. I feel like if I was doing that, me, and as I was making a game, I guess how do I validate what I'm hearing? I don't know how else to say it. Like I hear that you're trying to fix. You don't want to go back in time and say, "Oh, I wish you made the game this way because of the marketing research we found." Like if I'm making a game and I'm early on and I do that deep research and then I find something, I'm like, okay, should I change my whole game based on this? Like, surely there's a balance where it's like, what am I? I don't know. It's weird because some of the games like Balatro that we mentioned, he explicitly said on a few podcasts, like he did basically no market research. He made a game that he wanted to play. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I would just do that. So when we have that also in our face, like, hey, this worked. How do we combine that with market research? Like, I feel like there's two opposing forces there.
Well, sure. And the truth is, it's the exception rather than the norm, right? So sometimes you can come up with a game that you have a great hunch about and you have a great feeling about. You had referenced to me in the past, Baby in Yellow, that was made in a 48-hour game jam, right? Like just some guys, some people that had an idea and a concept, made a game, got 100 million downloads. Like that's awesome. Like, and if you have a great idea, absolutely go for it, right? Like lean into it. And if you haven't done that step and you're already, 6 months, a year, however long in development, that doesn't mean like go back to the drawing board. It means take where you're at now and find the most effective way to market it. Now, the market research stuff and building a business case, that's what AAA does, right? Before they greenlight games, they have extensive and exhaustive research done and forecasts built and P&Ls with that account for taxes, HR, legal, all the fees and things that they have to pay that indies can neglect. I hear this from investors. They say that yet when we see pitches, they overestimate how much money they're going to make, and they don't account for all these other expenses, right? So you should build a business case. But if you haven't gone to that step, it's not too late. Just take what you have, start from there. And then as far as like validation for the game, of course, right? There's easy ways to do that in small budgets. There's easy ways to build momentum and get enough data that you can tell yourself and investors and publishers, look, we have a game concept and we believe that it's strong, and now we have data to back it up.
Cool. Any good examples? Like, have you recommended anyone to like try validate their game and like any good success stories?
So we're signing on some clients now, and not one that has a game that has yet to be released, but I will give you a case study of a client of ours that released a game this year. They had developed the game for 6 years, husband and wife duo, quit their job, went all in on making this game and went through just hell making it. They had so many setbacks, they had so many issues, but to their credit, they made a great VR game. They did. It was well reviewed. And to their credit, when the game launched, they had influencers pick up the game and they had a lot of traffic come into the game, come into Steam. Unfortunately, not all of them converted. In fact, a small percentage of them converted. Why? Because their store page wasn't optimized, right? Was not cleaned up and optimized in the way that it needed to be. The capsule art did not read well. The copy read like dev notes. The screenshots were too bleak and dark. You couldn't tell what was going on. So it needed to be overhauled. But the validation point is they said to me, is it over? We had all the traffic come in, the traffic's gone, the sales are gone. We spent years making this game. Is it over? Do we need to move on? And stories like that, it just broke my heart. It was just, my gosh, like you have been through so much and now you think it's over, but it's not. And that's the mistake that publishers even make is they think a game is dead. But you can validate. You can find out, is it the game or was it just the marketing? And so here's what we did, right? We said, let's run a very small scale UA campaign. When I say
When you say
small, I
UA,
mean
you're saying money behind a paid ad, right?
bingo. Yeah, user acquisition, $1,000, $1,000 ad spend, right? We came up with a media plan. We came up with creatives. We optimize our page first, of course, because we drive traffic to there and they're not converting. Does us no good, right? And all we said is, hey, let's clean up your page. That's not going to hurt anything, right? Like we're only going to improve the page. We're only going to improve the conversions. This Steam page is going to live forever, right? So let's make sure that that's optimized and convert as for conversions. Then let's drive traffic to it. Let's drive qualified traffic to it. So we found comparables. We did research. We found, okay, this type of game has this type of audiences, right? They are VR, they like Arizona Sunshine, they like zombies, et cetera, et cetera. So let's target them. What type of creative resonates with them? Also did research on that. We made variants of the creatives, we tested it. And what we found is that when we turned the campaign on, that we drove traffic. They converted. The conversions increased 5 times. Drive qualified traffic, and we saw 5.3x return on ad spend. So that means for every $1 we spent on advertisement, they got 5.3 back. That's net profit after Valve's cut and after refunds accounted for. Net
Well,
positive.
so you just got a money printer.
You'd think so, right? And here's the thing. Most marketing, especially UA agencies, would see that data and tell client, mortgage the house, sell it all, put all in UA, right? Just go all in. If you're getting those types of returns, no brainer, spend, 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 spend. Wrong, wrong, wrong,
Why?
wrong.
I'm very curious now.
Because we dug deeper than that, right? We didn't just look at the user acquisition data because we come from AAA publishing. We know that it's not just marketing, it's product, it's analytics, it's forecasting. So what we did is we scraped all of the reviews, we scraped all of the refunds and the reasons people were refunding, and we found commonality. And we said, oh, well, guys, there's some easily fixable things. You could have a patch, right? You can have a patch, you can address these issues, and then we can turn it into a little marketing beat like a relaunch, and then we turn on user acquisition, and then that 5.3 number could go higher, right? We could
Mm.
have even more. Oh, and by the way, we also informed them this VR market down in 2025, right? However, it's forecasted to go up by Q4, and that momentum will continue into next year as more devices are available, prices come down, etc. So we said, hey, what we should do is some steady state UA. We'll do a beat around this, and then we could do a DLC drop. We could do an expansion drop whenever the market's expected to pick up, right? So we went beyond just the flat out user acquisition. We were able to validate their game, see that it was profitable, that the metrics were there, make strategic recommendations on what to do with their game, and then can be a money printer, right? It's a game that they made, they put all the time in. Why not sell it? It's gonna be in Steam.
Love it. Beautiful. So it's almost like you validated that now it's worth putting more money into the game to make those numbers a lot higher. I'm wondering for games like that, like I have no comparable of like what return on ad spend you typically get. But is that typical? Like a 5x seems quite high to me, but can that go even higher? Like, is that an expected result?
That is extremely high, and it's why we also caution, right? We don't communicate to client. We would never say, "Oh, this is how it's gonna be forever," because there's creative fatigue. You go through the audience, right? Like, if you send the same audience the same ad, like, eventually
Yeah,
that well will run dry. That's why we say, "Hey, instead of us just opening the floodgates, let's be strategic about the spend." The truth is, when it comes to return on ad spend. It's tricky, right? With attribution. Attribution is a challenge in the marketing world. You don't know if they saw an ad, if that drove them to click, because sometimes they'll see an ad and then they'll go off somewhere else and they'll see social media and they'll go off somewhere else and they'll see a newsletter and then they're in Steam. So which one do you attribute it to, right? So to the best of our ability, we offer directional guidance on that. Um, and as far as like most games and most campaigns, it varies, right? Like some may have like a 1 to 1.5x return on ad spend, right? That could be good. So as far as like comparables, it's really high. Do I think that it would sustain at that clip? Probably not. But we would monitor and measure those results and adjust strategically and accordingly.
beautiful. I've actually this is very maybe telling for me because I'm not in the games industry. I just interview people. But for some reason, I've interviewed so many marketing people, and everyone's talking about the organic side of marketing, where it's like trailers, it's like content on you know socials, and for some reason, I've not spoken to someone who's just blatantly talked about like let's put money behind, unless it's mobile. Mobile, I hear it all the time, but for like a PC console game, I just haven't heard that conversation much, at least online. I'm I'm wondering, is do you find that with indies as well? Like, do people just forget that they can do this?
Yeah, they don't not consider it because they think that user acquisition equals tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars, right? That's what they think. They
Mm,
think that that's what it takes. But the truth is, what's great about paid UA and why we recommend it in instances is unlike organic, you can get data quick. With organic, it's reliant upon the algorithms of that platform, right? How good is your content? How big is your following on TikTok? How many people scroll through your stuff, right? Like boom, 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 right? So the you are reliant upon how good your content is, your following, etc. With UA, you can get very quick signal and very quick data with exactly the audience that you want. And an often overlooked strategy, by the way, is doing a small, we're talking like 500 bucks, a small A/B test. That means testing multiple creative variants for capsule art, right? So
yeah, because like if that changes the conversion by like 5, 10%, that could be like literally double. Like, yeah, I just clock in a lot now. Like, if you were only doing organic, and organic is killing, if you just A/B tested creative using paid UA, and then the organic stuff, like you said, the capsule art, is all going to be that much better. And it's literally impossible to get that feedback loop as fast unless you're doing paid UA.
yeah, I'm going to tell you, some smart, really, really smart studios are going even further when we talk about validation of the game. I know a startup that has founders from big tech. I don't want to give away their name because I'm going to give away some of their strategy here. But they got a big like $30 million raise this year, and they are making games using AI. And guess what they're doing? Before they make their games, they're running UA on using generative AI assets of concepts. Here are concepts that we think would work for this game. And before we make the game, we're just going to see how the market reacts to it. So they run literal fictitious games with made up stuff to help validate their game before they spend, you know how expensive games are to make, right? They can cost millions of dollars. So before they get to that point, what's going to kill you for a few $1,000s in a UA test to validate, right? You will save so much time and effort versus the long, slow clawing of organic on social. Now,
Wow.
Harry, before we go, but I do want to interject real quick before we go on to that. Is that I'm not dismissing organic social, so please do not take that away. Organic social can and should be part of your marketing strategy.
I'm in the indie. I'm hearing you, Joan. And I'm like, okay, I've got an idea. I've got something going. Let me do a paid UA, validate it. Cool. I don't know. I'm just so curious. Like, if it's a fictitious game, then I'm guessing they say, hey, this game's not out yet. Join the waitlist. Like, what are they doing with that data? I don't know. Like, can someone take, how would you, if someone's listening to this, like, John, I want to try that. Should they? Like, is that only for the AAA guys or?
I think if you had the budget, and by the way, they're not AAA. They are not AAA. They are a what I would consider more like a triple I studio.
Cool.
If you have the budget to do it, yes. And where do you drive them? You drive them to a landing page where you capture their email. Why do you capture their email? Because again, it's a channel. It's a channel. You have data now, and you can message them. People still check their emails.
Oh, yeah.
People still check their emails. And again, unlike organic social, where you're dependent on algorithms to determine whether, who sees your stuff and when, you can directly drop something into their email box of, hey, remember that game that you saw that you were interested in? Guess what? It's available. Guess what? We just announced it. Congratulations, hooray. Or remember that game that interests you? Oh, we made another game, right? We made another game very similar to this, and check it out. Trailer,
Mm,
information, screenshots, press releases, yada 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 yada, all the good stuff. And then
nice.
you have lifecycle marketing. You have lifecycle marketing with email. It's often overlooked, but it's extremely effective. We have entire teams at AAA Publishing, entire teams. All they do is emails. Why? When a game's on sale, when there's a new update, guess what? You're getting an email dropped in. Hey, guess what? You like that game? It's on sale now. Yay, hooray, happy days, as you would say, Harry.
Happy days. Exactly. Lovely. I want to take us to Wishlist now because I just released a podcast and he had a, and I quote, if your game has 50,000 wishlist or more, a publisher will take you very seriously. So
Mhm.
I'd like to, let's take that statement. If I'm looking to grow wishlists, first, what are people getting wrong about growing their wishlist? When you talk to them, what do you keep seeing? Like, hey, John, I'm growing my wishlist. What are they doing wrong?
The over reliance on organic, over reliance on hoping that influencers will pick up their game. Um, and then also, what they do not take into account is how long it took to get those wish lists. If you get 50,000 wish lists, but it took you 10 years to do it, right? The people that wish listed on year one probably are not going to care about you much, much later, right? So the wish list number is, while it's a metric, right, that can turn heads. Why does it turn heads? Why is it important? Because of Steam algorithms, right? You need 20,000, 30,000 wish lists to really cross that barrier on the Steam platform to get kicked into like popular, upcoming, etc. And Steam obviously is the number one place where people discover your games, so that's why it's so important. But as far as like driving wish lists, again, it's not just one thing, it's multiple things. You need multiple touch points. All right. So, great example when we talk about the funnel, Coca Cola. Coca Cola is the most popular drink on planet Earth. Everyone knows what Coca Cola is. But guess what? They still run Super Bowl ads, they still have billboards everywhere you look. It's drink Coca Cola. Why? Because it's part of the funnel. It's part of awareness, brand equity, right? They know that you need to be in the hearts and minds of people, and just doing it for a launch isn't enough. You need to have a life cycle marketing plan, and you need multiple touch points, because how many times does it take the average consumer to see something before they make a purchasing decision? Seven times. So if they just see one person streaming it, okay, cool, I'm interested. If they see their friends talking about it, okay. If then they see it on their social media feed, oh wow, oh, everyone else is talking about it. Then they see an ad for it. Oh man, I can't miss this, right? So the point is, you need multiple touch points, and just putting all your eggs into one basket is why so many indies fail. They view it as a checkbox. I just need X amount of followers, or I just need this streamer to pick it up. That's all I need. Then my marketing's done, right? No.
Alrighty. You raise a cool point. Like with Coca Cola, one of their marketing strategies, which I find really cool, especially in countries like mine in Cyprus, is they pretty much give for free the name of the kiosk, and it just says like Candy Break, and it's massive Coca Cola. And they also give them typically a free Coca Cola branded machine, and they will put their own drinks in there. But it's like subsidized, I guess, stuff. And I'm curious, in the game world, are there just like kind of maybe some neat tricks, like maybe using Discord or Reddit, something that I don't know, where people are just completely ignoring that that's a complete like user acquisition channel. Like you mentioned, you were doing market research, Reddit, Discord, and LinkedIn. Is there a place where games get discovered that people just didn't realize is a thing?
I think like the easiest lowest hanging fruit is understanding where your audience is most active and meeting them there, right? Like it's not some secret. It's I'll give you cozy gamers for example. The cozy gamers, well, they actually usually hang out in Facebook groups because they're moms or females. They're on Facebook. They skew older. They got kids or whatever. They just need like a something to turn their brain off and like do some farming and like build their house and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And these studios sometimes don't think about that, right? Of like a Facebook group. Why would I want to be on I want to be on Twitch, right? I want somebody on YouTube to stream my game. Well, that's not necessarily where the audience is going to be, right? And Reddit's super powerful, but the mistake that studios and developers make is they treat these channels as a advertisement self-promotion channel
Yeah.
versus an organic channel, which is exactly what it should be treated at. Not a, hey everyone, you never heard of me? Go buy my game right now. Go wishlist now. Right?
So what's the right
It's
way, John? What's the right way, John? Because I think a lot of people hear that and like, oh, okay, how do I quote unquote blend in? Should I be trying to blend in? Should I be like feel like a cozy gamer and then talk about my game, or should I? I've had I've heard of some people say, "Hey, check out this game. This looks really interesting." When it's just your game, but you kind of pretend to be someone else. Like, what's the strategy?
be authentic, be real, engage, engage with people. Don't just post when it's about yourself. For every one time you post about yourself, 10 times you should be talking about other people and asking them questions, seeing what do they like. Hey, I see this post on Facebook talking about another game. What's your favorite feature about it? Why do you like? What do you love about this game so much? Why do you keep coming back for more? What's your favorite thing? If there was another game that came out today, what do you wish would be a part of that? Right? And so I talked to you about 7 times, right? Same thing in community. When people see your name more frequently and they see that you're not just there to sell them stuff, then you become part of the community because you're engaging with them authentically. And the thing is
Mm,
with gamers, especially hardcore gamers, is that they're tough to get onto your side. They're very critical. But once you've earned that trust, you're Gucci, as you would say, until you burn it, of course. But it's you can be one of them by just being yourself. Don't try to be a brand. Don't try to be a call to action. Just show up. It's the same thing that's worked with me for as I've built this business. When we started talking about skill tree, I made Reddit. I in the 2 months that we've had that Reddit account, I've made one one post about skill tree marketing, and the rest of the time, how we got first clients, I was just asking questions, just giving feedback. Cool trailer. Think it could be a little punchier if you did this, this, this. Cool game. I think you're missing out on this communication, but I really like it. I think this is really cool, right? Just being honest with people. And then instead of skill tree marketing showing up, buy our services, it's like, oh, these dudes have been giving out free advice and help. It's why right now, Harry, when I talk to you about what I do with market research, well, go do it. Like it's why I post on LinkedIn. That my most popular content on LinkedIn is not me talking about Skilltree and go buy our services. It's not what's getting people in the door. What's getting them in the door is being authentic, telling them, "Hey guys, like I know your pain. I feel for you. I know how hard it is to market a game. I know that you don't have much budget, you don't know what to do, but there's good news. The good news is that here's how other games have done it, and think through how you can apply that to your game."
yeah, love it. Because the ideas of basically asking the community, hey, what features do you like? Because things like, I'm building a cozy game. I can already see that if someone came into like my community, you would obviously engage with that. It's like, the person's building a game. But literally, if the same person said, hey, come play my game, I would get the ick. And it's so funny because it's just such a small difference, right?
Yeah, and like being real with people, like telling them like, hey guys, like this is hard. Like we're working on this. We're trying to figure. Like ask for feedback. Ask for feedback. Show them. People are afraid. So some devs are afraid to show their game off too early, and I think they're wrong. I think that they should show off the dirty, ugly, horrible side of their game because it makes them human. People recognize that. Like, obviously, like, disclaimer, like, hey, we're working on this. It's work in progress. Like, be real with people. Tell them about your journey. It just like on LinkedIn. That's what so many people neglect. They don't talk about their journey and their story because it humanizes you. People connect with other human beings. They understand that, like, yeah, man, I know, like, games are tough, right? Like, I get it. Like, they resonated with it. That's why the husband and wife duo, why so many people were cheering them on and picked up their game because that message, that story of like,
Was
we
that in the
went
ad
through all.
creative?
No, no,
No.
no, no, no. And
Should
why
have
was
been?
it not in the why was it not in the ad creative? Because that story in the UA, it's hard to tell when you have 15 seconds with somebody, 3 seconds with something. They decide within 3 seconds whether or not they're going to watch. And so trying to like tell the hero's journey in 15 seconds, it's not the place for that.
Is it on
Where is
Steam?
what's that?
Oh, sorry, I was just
Yes.
got excited.
Yes, it
Is
is on
it?
Steam. It is on the Steam.
Very
So
cool.
once you see the ad and you go to the Steam page, yes. Pam and Steve, the husband and wife duo, yeah, have gone all in on their passion game, and it's really, really cool. And it's, here's why you should
So
play
that's
it. Blah, blah,
on the
blah.
Steam profile, the hero's
Mhm.
journey of the developer. Interesting, because because obviously I talk about that from LinkedIn, but I never thought about the Steam page, and yeah, it makes sense. Like you want to hear the story, right, of how the sausage got made.
Because people, especially like indie gamer fans, they love it, right? They love like when people share like their struggle and how hard they worked and how much they care. And it's why they by the way built so much trust is because they had a Discord, and in that Discord they responded quickly to every bug, every complaint, everything that anyone ever had come through. Gosh bless them. They were so sweet to these people that would just come in and rip their game to shreds, and they would be like, "I'm so sorry. We know this is a problem. We're working on fixing it." They were human beings, and the people that complained, it when they get that level of response of there's another person that really cares about this on the other side, and they listen to you and your complaint, and they validate that feeling and tell you, we know we want to make it better for you. That goes so much further than the corporate boilerplate shit that you see, pardon my French, that you see from bigger studios, bigger publishers, where it's
I'm wondering
very,
if that
very
works
corporate.
because on mobile games, so I'm more of a mobile player. I don't really play much on PC anymore. So I see on these big mobile games, every response to a complaint, it's like, hey, so sorry that is happening. Would love to look into it. Please email support at blah blah blah. And it's just the same reply to all these people. Um,
Mhm. Yep.
yeah, I'm just thinking now, like, surely it makes sense to put some money behind and just like have that be actual answers, and then
Oh,
because what you're saying
one
just makes so much more
one
sense, right?
hundred 100%. And granted, like those studios, they have a process, they have an intake form, they have to track it, they have tickets, they have to assign somebody to it. Like, but they also have like a huge customer service team that manages this stuff, right? And
Yeah.
they consolidate that feedback, by the way, and then give it back to studio developers to inform them. Whether or not they take
Mm.
it, well, that's up to the how they prioritize their work because the deep truth is that studios often know that there's big studios like they often know that there's issues with the game, but they have other priorities, business priorities, and they can't always prioritize the one thing that a lot of people are complaining about when they have a feature that they need to polish and ship. They need to meet Q4 earnings, right? They need to they need to drive things, are going to drive monetization. They have different priorities versus the small studio that can have more of that one-on-one authentic human connection. The most successful discords that I've seen with the studios I've been talking with, they do exactly that. They respond and just engage naturally with their fans.
This is actually funny, John. So I watched a lot of Balatro, watched it, and I was like, all right, I have to play it now. So I bought it for 10 quid on my phone. Started playing it, got a bit addicted, put stupid amount of hours in, and then I just went down a rabbit hole. I was like, oh, let me. Who made this game? And he's anonymous, right? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I listened to a podcast of him talking. That was interesting. And then I saw a news article that Balatro is releasing playing cards, and I was like, this game gave me so much. So I just bought 12. I bought 12. So I spent like over $150 on just literally playing cards with the Balatro stuff. And my idea is I'll give it to people when I go to Gamescom. So it's on the business. And I'm just clocking now. Like I probably wouldn't have done that if I didn't go the rabbit hole of it's this one anonymous guy in Canada who's publicly said he never wants gambling to take this and he has it in his will and stuff. Like I connected with that part of the story, which led to me buying more from him. And like taking it back to your story, I wonder how much buy-in they're going to get from their current Discord when they release DLC because they've publicly kind of put themselves out there in that positive way. So yes, it might help with making the product better, but also like I don't know how else to phrase this, but like maybe people forget that your customers aren't necessarily one-off, right? They're customers of the studio. And you're going to get repeat customers, and that's how you build like a massive business. Like Ubisoft probably sells Assassin's Creed, the new one, to the 10 plus years of people playing Assassin's Creed. So you're not just getting customers for one game, you're hopefully getting customers for life, you know?
That's exactly what I want to do to help studios go beyond launching one game to launching two, three, four, five plus games. Harry, I if if what we do with Skilltree is that we help studios become sustainable businesses that can hire people, give them work, make businesses, and turn the industry into a place where it's not just a small percent that make money. Do you know how much that would please me? I would
Imagine.
I would be so thrilled.
Yeah, it's cool. It's what I'm thinking with my business, right? Like my dream is to help people kind of, you know, a lot of people just have amazing products, but they just can't do sales or it's just not in them. And it just takes just tell that story a little bit. Like that's all I do. I just take what they already have got, tell the story, and then boom, they book meetings, they get a couple more clients, and then the business suddenly is profitable. Where before they had the product, but just no one knew about it. And I think there's a lot of parallels here with what you're doing.
Completely. Complete parallels. And it's okay. And the other thing I want to disclaimer, like some developers are not the Pam and Steve in Discord responding to everyone and everything. Like the pressure that can be there of like, I don't feel comfortable talking to people. I'm an introvert. That's okay, right? That's okay. Understand your weaknesses. Understand the gaps that you have and work around them. Either come up with a system where it works or bring somebody in to help you, right? Like there are certain things that I really don't want to do and can't do, like organic social, for example. Like I don't want to do that with Skilltree. I don't. There are other folks out there that do organic social, and like we'll partner with them. We will partner with them. We will work with them on a strategy and a marketing plan, 100. But like our team's not equipped to do that, right? Like we're not set up for that, nor do I really want to go in that space, and that's okay, right? Like understand, like you may be a studio and you may not be great at art. What are you going to do? You're going to have bad art? No, you're going to hire somebody to help you make the art good, right? If you're willing to spend good money on art or animation or design or whatever, like same with marketing, like either you're going to do it yourself and you're going to grind it out, which is possible. It is possible. I'm not here to tell you that you got to hire us or you got to hire another marketing agency or group to help you out. Sure, you can do it yourself, right? But if you want some help, right, it's there, and understand your weaknesses.
For sure. And I give this advice quite a lot. Like most agencies, most consultants, the first call isn't paid. I can imagine if you're an indie developer and you chat with 3 to 4 agencies, you're going to get a lot of insights, and it's not going to cost you much apart from your time. Like it's the biggest cheat sheet, basically. Like the way I learned a lot about kind of what I do is just networked and just asked people, told them what I knew. They told me what they knew. Do that enough times, you know a lot more. And a lot of these people, like John, especially anyone going on a podcast, they probably would give you the kind of 101 of what you need to do on the first chat.
And it goes both ways too, right? Because as I talk to people and network with more people, I learn the challenges firsthand, even though I've done research, right? Actually talking to other people helps validate or um, disprove that research. And I've learned a heck of a lot since LinkedIn's picked up and since my calendar has booked up. And there are folks that I've openly talked to that tell me, John, I don't have any money. We can't hire you. And I tell them, that's okay. I just want to know what you're going through. I just want to know like where your pain points are. I want to know where your struggles are at. I want to know what help you need because that helps me cater my services to help those people in need. Like that's what I need to do. I'm trying to help people. I really am. And talking to your audience, talking to your customer is what's going to give you more insights than, any other any other research. It's a great starting point, but like actually like communicating with people goes a lot farther than a spreadsheet and an LLM research.
100%. Question for you: how do you run a new business with 8 Chihuahuas and 3 horses in the house?
Well, it's a challenge every morning when the dogs wake up and I'm on a call like this. On this very call, the dogs decided to go crazy and they're now barking at my wife who's feeding the horses. And they run and scamper through the house, and I have to mute the phone and yell at the dogs. But I love them very much. I do want to tell you real quick that the Chihuahuas are named after video game characters. We have
Okay.
Princess Peach, we got Kirby, we have Joker from Persona 5, we have my favorite dog, Zelda, Princess Zelda. We have Cookie from Animal Crossing. We have Bowser. We got all the dogs. We got Daisy. Who am I leaving out here? I think Teddy from Persona 4. Yeah, it's like roll call with these dogs.
You've I like that you forgot one of your Chihuahuas' names. Like it's not one of your dog's names, it's just one of your Chihuahuas' names. Like one was the decision to have more than one Chihuahua. Was like on Chihuahua 1, or was like after Chihuahua 3 you were like, I guess we're gonna keep doing this.
Well, so my wife has a Chihuahua. When I met her, she loved Chihuahuas, and one Kirby is her most precious dog, and she wanted to continue the bloodline. So a couple years ago, I got her a puppy that was Princess Peach. And we said, okay, we're gonna have a litter, and then we'll keep one of them, and we'll find new homes for the rest, and that will be it. And then the first litter was 4 dogs, and well, we fell in love with them, and we're like, we can't we can't give these poor little things away. uh, and it, and then for the rest of them, we're like, okay, we're fixing that. We're fixing Princess Peach. We're no more Peachlets. There are no more dogs. And unfortunately, Papa Kirby got to her before we had a chance to fix her. And we had a chance to do something about it, but we're like, well, we can't get rid of these little puppies. They're adorable. Now they're fixed. There's no more. There'll be no more, right? But it was a snowball effect of Chihuahuas, and they drive me nuts, but I love them dearly.
I need to see the picture of 8 Chihuahuas and 3 horses. There just needs to be. I don't know if you got, because Chihuahuas got outfits, right? I've seen white chicks, and you can put outfits on them. And I just imagine the video game outfits on all those doggos. It
Oh,
would go hard.
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Zelda has like a Princess Zelda collar, and
Awesome. So, real talk though, like you've got a family of at least of Chihuahuas, right? And you've gone straight into business. I know what it was like the first couple of weeks. This is more of a I guess, letter to your past self, maybe a letter to kind of people out there looking to kind of do their own thing, what would you tell them? Anything?
Oh boy, I'm still learning it, but I think the most powerful thing for me is understanding that it takes a village. That I could have grinded this out and figured it out on my own, but what has accelerated the growth of Skill Tree is recognizing my shortfalls, my weaknesses, the areas that I needed to improve on, and bringing in people to help, whether they were advisors or coaches or mentors or people, and just a relentless pursuit of improvement of, okay, I feel that this went really great, but how can I be better? After every call, how can I be better? After every campaign, how can I be better? And how who do I need to bring to help me out when I can't do it anymore? And doing that before it's too late. Like not waiting until the house is on fire, um, looking in advance and saying, yeah, I need help in these areas and I'm going to get it. And I'm willing to sacrifice, pay or equity to get that help because I don't want to do it by myself. It's really scary trying to leave a stable job, and go to just all in, when you got a mortgage and I pay the bills and it's all on me and it's like I got to keep the lights on, man. Like
Yeah.
got to do it.
Yeah, don't go alone is the most. It's surprising how many quote unquote like killers, and then they like don't speak to many people, whether it's online or some people like just delay going into a co-working space. That's been really useful for me. I'm very lucky. Like I live with all my family, and my brother works in the business, and my cousin has a similar business. So 3 days of the week, I'm in a coffee shop and we're working next to each other. Oh my god! I just had a realization one day. It's like imagine I did all my work in this little box with this curtain behind me in my bedroom. I go crazy. Like you need to talk to other people. It's so yeah, it's I don't know. It's like therapy, but also it makes the business go that much faster. I'm sure you realized.
Yeah. 100%, man. 100%. And like I live it's I can't really go to co-working spaces, but that's why I'm always happy to take a call and happy
Mm,
to talk to somebody, and it energizes me to talk to other people. I love it. I love talking to other people in the game industry. It's a true joy.
beautiful, John. Closing up here. Anything you feel like we haven't covered today that you'd like to leave as a message for anyone who's a marketer or looking to market their game?
I think in this industry today, we need to do a lot more of helping each other out and understanding, like I said, finding help when you need it and knowing that when it comes to marketing, it's the marketing out there has not been great in the indie space. And I'm here to tell you that, look, whether or not you work with us, that's your call, but there's help out there. There are experts out there that can help you, and it does not need to be out of reach of your budget. There are things that you can do. You don't have to do it yourself. You can tap experts and people that know how to market a game. They've been there, they've done that. Lean on those resources, whether it's going to other websites or YouTube channels, fine. But if you need extra support, go for it. Don't think that marketing is this impossible black box that you need to have millions of dollars to achieve and have critical success. You do not. You don't. Look at these games that have done tremendous, tremendous work and had tremendous success with very little budget. The Schedule Ones, right? Balatro, right? They didn't have the same budget as a Hogwarts Legacy, right? They didn't have the same budget as a Madden, but they sold a lot of copies.
And they did a lot of marketing. That's the thing I want to clarify. Like, it's not like they had small budget and did little marketing. They also, like Balatro specifically, massive influencer strategy from the founder. Like, if you hear him talk about it, he was very specific on it. And also, Balatro's got like amazing organic socials online on Twitter and whatnot. Like, small budget, but still a lot of marketing. I think Punkle is a very good example as well. Like, the marketing team there, Vampire Survivors. Small budget, but still loads of marketing. So I think it's another thing to clarify. Like they're not just games which sold themselves through word of mouth, 100%.
Absolutely. It's all part of the marketing funnel that you should be thinking about 100%.
Lovely. Alrighty. John, how do people get in touch?
They can go to our website at skilltreemarketing.gg. There's a form there. You can schedule a call with me. Hey, you want to talk? I'm here.
Happy.
You can find us on LinkedIn. We have a Discord that's only for clients right now. We may open it up. And we're also on Reddit, Skill Tree Marketing on Reddit. So you can find us LinkedIn, Reddit, website. Talk to me, talk to our team. We're looking forward to it.
Beautiful. Alrighty. Everyone, hope you enjoyed. If you did, send it to a friend, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you all next time. Alrighty. Bye, everyone.